You guys already know that North Naperville Autos is the #1 dealer of used cars in the Chicagoland area, but they are now offering shipping on all of their online purchases. That's right, if you buy a car at North Naperville Autos online, it'll be shipped directly to your front door.
Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2002 Toyota Camry XLE. Up front is a 3.0 liter V6 and down below is a 4-speed automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this here Camry for a couple of reasons. I drove one a long time ago and you guys showed that video a lot of love. In the comment section, everyone said you have to drive the V6, you gotta drive the V6. And so, here I am driving the V6. I'm excited to share my thoughts with you guys. Before we get on to anything else, I have a website, zackpradel.com, where you can buy stickers like this retro sticker pack I have available for just $10. You can also submit your own vehicle to be reviewed by me through a quick and easy submission form, as well as you can read my behind the scenes blog to see what I'm driving and filming before it comes out on the channel. But let's get back to that 3.0 liter V6 from Toyota. Well, it makes 190 horsepower. And so, let's see how it does. Not bad. For a Camry? Not bad. Like I said, paired to it is a 4-speed automatic, which is very typical of this era of vehicle. The Camry wasn't anything special, so it didn't deserve the 6-speed. It didn't get a 5-speed even. So we're stuck here with the 4-speed, and it's fine, it's doing the job. Last but not least, the 2002 XLE Camry is front-wheel drive. With that out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have what looks like 2 gauges, but it's really 4. On the left is my tachometer with a little coolant gauge in it. And then on the right, I have my speedometer with fuel inside of that. So kind of interesting grouping and design of the gauges here. I also have a little digital odometer down at the bottom. On the steering wheel, very interesting. Off to the left, I have 2 buttons. The top of which is to switch between the clock or info in the center display. Of all the things I want on my steering wheel, skip track, volume, air conditioning options, which some cars have, the clock information is probably the last thing I want on my steering wheel. There's so many better things they could have put on here, but I guess Toyota thought it was real important for you. Kind of weird. The overall steering wheel does see some wear and tear, however, that's sort of pretty standard with 2002 vehicles. Off to the left, I do have a big pull-out cubby. This is not an ashtray, as told by the typical Toyota sticker found inside. However, it's not yelling at me that it's storage only, so that's kind of nice. Moving on to the door, I have my latch to get in and out up top, and then I have my power mirrors and power locks, as well as power windows down below, and a little cubby. Moving into the center, we have that oh so important clock that I can change on the steering wheel. Thank God, I guess. And then we come down to the infotainment system. It's surrounded by 2 vents, but the actual infotainment system is very nice for 2002. I have navigation, which is great. I don't know how up to date it is, but the road I'm currently driving on is in there, so that's good, I guess. It does look very much like a PlayStation 2 user interface, but hey, that's the era. Moving down, I do have the climate controls as well. Temperature and fan speed. I don't get dual zone climate, unfortunately, but that wasn't really common in 2002, especially on a Toyota. Then we have our heated seat options. Something I love about this is that when you turn the car off, they actually will stay on. So I got into the car this morning and I started setting up my gear to film this video, and my seat was already warming up. I hadn't even selected it yet, which is pretty neat. Then I do have a 12 volt 120 watt outlet, and I get some nice storage up at the front of the center console. Moving down the center console, I have the shifter off to the right. Very typical Toyota shifter. However, it's not a jigsaw shifter. There actually is a button on the side and it's all parallel. It's all in one line to shift forward and back, which I quite like. And off to the left, I have the tiniest little coin cubby in the world. Then we do have cup holders. And so we will do a big friggin' bottle test, but like the 2022 Hyundai Palisade I just got out of a couple days ago, this is the opposite of a Goldilocks cup holder, where it does have this little helper that makes it too narrow for the big friggin' bottle, but then when I move the helper, now it's too wide and the big friggin' bottle moves all over the place. So unfortunately, the 2002 Toyota Camry XLE V6 fails the big friggin' bottle test. Finishing out the interior, I do have a nice center console, as well as I have the seats. The seats are power and they are heated, which is fantastic, and I am pleasantly enjoying on this brisk spring morning. But speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2002 Toyota Camry XLE V6. I have two cup holders back here, knee room good, headroom good as well. I'm 5'11", if that gives you any frame of reference. Of course, power windows, and I do get these decently deep cubbies in the doors as well, down below, as well. I don't get any storage options in here. However, this is the big foam brick style center console, which is very nice. Let's go take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, so we're on the back of the 02 Camry. I can pop it here on the key fob. I also like that the key fob says lock and unlock in full text. Really like that. But popping the trunk up here, these are obviously the floor mats. I get this nice Camry mat, which is great, and that don't really have any extra added storage. However, the trunk itself is very wide, and the back seats do fold down. You can kind of tell that they do, which is really nice for some added storage. But again, nothing too crazy, but nice nevertheless. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I don't think there's more of an invisible car than this here Toyota Camry. You could not pick this car out of a lineup, and just to solidify that fact, it's finished in silver. The only competition silver has is that beige for the Camry. It's not very special. It's not very important. It doesn't look cool. It doesn't look unique. It's a silver Camry. There it is. But now let's get to my final thoughts on this here 2002 Toyota Camry XLE. I like it. It does add a nice bump in power, which is just fantastic. And like I said, this wasn't even peak Camry for this generation. Later models got VVTi and made even more power. This is a really solid drivetrain, and you're avoiding the 2.4 liter, which had oil issues later down the road. So the 3 liter V6 is really nice. I think it's well equipped for a 2001 Camry. I have the navigation in the center. I have my heated seats. The ride quality is pretty good. I have these nice wood accents in here that you would typically find in similar year Lexus products. Overall, I have to say that this is a pretty good car, which is, of course, to be expected out of this era of Camry. I'd say the V6 is definitely worth the upgrade if you can find one in good condition. If you're looking at two Toyota Camrys, one with the 4-cylinder and one with the 6-cylinder, similar mileage, of course, similar condition, I would highly recommend going for the V6 for that extra added power, that little extra oomph, that extra passing ability on the highway. I think it's really worth the jump. And overall, I'm driving this nice, comfy car. I don't really have any other complaints about it besides the fact that it looks like every other car ever made. However, that's kind of the Camry's mantra. It's kind of what the Camry has always been about. And I like that. I like that a lot. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to North Naperville Autos for letting me take out their 2002 Toyota Camry. They offer nationwide shipping, they offer financing, and they are Carfax certified, so you know you're going to the right place when you go to North Naperville Autos. Their website is up on the screen as well as linked in the description below. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.